everybody. Happy Friday and welcome to the Fanatic Forum. I'm your Fanatic and host, George Bueller. And of course, to my, oh wow, actually, it does, I don't have to reverse it anymore. Holy shit, this is a cool new thing. I'm completely distracted right now. My brother from another mother right over here, Mr. Seth Manhammer.
What up, yo?
So we're in a new streaming home. We've been at StreamYard for a while. Now we're using Restream. And so there's a bit of a learning curve with some things here. So we're just
Yeah, and I actually upgraded my webcam scenario too, so I shouldn't have those annoying dropouts as much. Like this is actually like a dedicated ass webcam instead of like my old cell phone that I was like trying to cherry pick or jury rig into the computer. But so yeah, it took me a minute to do. Like it was all mirrored at first, and I'm like, why am I looking at the opposite direction that I normally do? And then I noticed all my shit was backwards. So yeah, so we're just kind of upgrading a little bit around here in the Fanatic area.
Yeah. So anywho, so how you doing, brother?
Yeah, I am doing fantastic. It was a long work week, but it was a long work week, but I only went to work for 4 days this week because I had to have a recuperation day on Monday. Not for the holiday reason that 420 was, mind you. It leads into our topic du jour that we will start discussing a bit later, but how we spent our WrestleMania weekend.
Yes, and speaking of our WrestleMania weekend, we got Mr. Steve Eves.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
Steve is joining us from his work tonight, if I remember correctly. Glad to have you here, brother. Hope you can stick around for a while.
Amen to that. So, let's see here. Well, of course, we got, of course, a couple of topics here with WrestleMania, but one we got to talk about is our little meet and greet with Mr. Joe Bob Briggs and Miss Darcy.
Yes, that was an incredible night from start to finish. It was. George and I had went. He picked me up. We went to Lexington. We ate. We had a great meal at Cookout. That was my best cookout experience, and burgers was delicious, and then we went and hung out with our drive-in mutant family for a bit. We stood in the longest line for like 2 solid hours, the most orderly, chaotic line I have ever seen. We met some very interesting people. We got a number slip to come back later. And
because they cut it off around time for getting around the show. So Joe Bob and Darcy had to split and get ready for the show. Right. So they cut us off, but they were scanning out pieces of paper with numbers on them. So you basically, after the show was over, get back in line according your number, and the meet and greets will continue.
Yes. Yeah. And so we hung out, and so I mean we had great seats when we went in there. We were the Kentucky Theater is, I mean, it's a big theater, but it's one of those theaters that it's like, it's set up to be really well, like there's great viewing angles all over the place.
I don't know if you ever got to go back to the old Vogue back in the day in Louisville, but it reminded me a lot of the Vogue.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. And, but yeah, we had great seats there, and it was, we stood in the line for a few hours, and then we just walked to our seats and had a seat. And then we realized that up to that point, no one had looked at anything resembling a ticket or had ever asked for it. Like you could have walked into this. Yeah.
Well, with the exception of we stopped at the ticket booth, and then you had your phone out with the thing, and then she just kind of just waved us through. So I mean, she saw we had purchased it, but you're right. They didn't check for tickets or anything.
Yeah, nobody scanned anything, and it was like, she didn't even care what was on my phone. Was the impression that I was getting. Like, I could have shown her a picture of Darth Maul titties or something. I don't have that on my phone, by the way. That's just the first. That's just a weird word association game that I went to. Having nothing to do with the image on our screen. Can you please take that down, because I'm really getting distracted now.
Because here's the thing. So we're gonna bring this back up. We get to meet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we of course, like, so we were standing in line. We didn't get it. We didn't. got to the point where they cut off. It was like showtime. Joe Bob had a blast. The Lexington crowd was ready and willing for some Joe Bob. We were good to go. Mutant Family was on point that night. So what was supposed to be scheduled as a 2-hour show went nearly 3 hours.
Yeah. Joe Bob went full tilt boogie the whole time, and he showed clips from movies from time to time. The show was How the Rednecks Saved Hollywood, and he starts from the original Rednecks and goes into the how Rednecks became some great Hollywood fodder, and the journey along the way was incredible. And he'll stop to show a clip of a movie from time to time. I think the longest one was like a bit of a musical sequence, but still no more than 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, right? The one from was the one from Little Abner or something like that, or
I'm not sure if I think it was Little Abner. I think but yeah, it was like no longer than 2 minutes, no intermission, just go straight for almost 3 hours.
He'd go backstage when he's playing the movie clips. He'd go backstage and probably take a water break, or have a shot of wild turkey, or something like that. Yeah, so.
I memean, he wasn't like breaking or anything. It's not like he was going and sitting somewhere and just like having a breather. Like he was,
yeah, 100%. So
then after he comes out and we're waiting in line, and it's not even 20 minutes. And he's back at the table. Like it's basically long enough for him to pee, and he's back out there. And bless his heart, man, you could tell he was fucking exhausted.
Yeah,
but like the kindest dude in the world. Like listen to us just worship the ground he walked on. Like Darcy was awesome to talk to. I told her if she was ever in the mood for a chain restaurant in Southern Indiana, I'm her guy.
Yes, sir.
She loved our business cards. They both did. Darcy tripped over your little gift though.
So I brought gifts for both Joe Bob and Darcy. So of course I know Joe Bob grew up being a Joe Kubert fan, especially with Tarzan, and I couldn't find any Joe Kubert Tarzan, but I did find a good old Sergeant Rock cover. And the cool thing was that it was a Mark Jewelers variant, so basically meaning that it came from a military base. It was sold at the PX military. The cake. Mark Jewelers, because there is a difference, because there's like a silver star means it was a domestic Air Force base or domestic military base, and then the purple star means it's a overseas base. So make sure this is an all-American comic book here. Good old Sergeant Rock there, Joe Kubert cover. So he liked that one. And then for Darcy, I know that she's a House 2 fan. And Marvel did an adaptation for House 2 back in the day. And so I'm like, oh, damn, I've got a copy of that. Because I love the Marvel movie. I love the Marvel movie adaptation stuff. So I've got a whole ton of them. And so I knew I had that one. It's like, oh, okay. It's like another House 2 fan. Yes, please. Let's go. So gave it to Darcy, told her this was actually from my personal collection. She's like, are you sure? I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, you love the movie. We love you. So please, accept this token of appreciation. So yeah, she bought. But the cool thing was we were talking to them about where they're going next after Shudder.
Yep.
Because of course, as we know, they've got 4 specials. Actually, tonight is the Walpurgis Nacht special starting at 9 p.m. So we know that we know got 4 specials through the end of the year, and then that's it for them for Shudder, and they're going somewhere else. So we were kind of guessing where they were going. We were incorrect in both of our guesses. So we say our pleasantries, wrap up, give gifts, and another thing too. I had to give my contact information because Joe Bob sends thank you cards. I've yet to receive it.
I will be curious when you get it, because you will definitely have to follow up.
Oh, yes. I will definitely follow up, and you will know once I receive it. But I've yet to receive it yet. But I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, so we're saying our pleasure, saying our goodbyes, and then Darcy comes around the table and whispers in my ear the new home for Joe Bob Briggs. I'm not going to share it. I'm not going to tell tales out of school here until they do. But Seth and I are aware of where they are going next. And
yeah. I will say it's not any of the ones that you're probably thinking of off the top of your head.
Yes, yeah, it was not many of my guesses.
No.
So you had a guess, I had a guess, and yeah, we were both incorrect.
Yeah,
So
I won't even say what our guesses were.
oh, no,
Just yeah.
but no, nonetheless,
Yeah.
it was a wonderful night. Now, let's go back to the photo at hand here because purposefully, I'm like, all right, my boy, you get to stand next to Darcy because you're the single man. You invited her to a lovely seafood dinner or a chain restaurant dinner or whatever. Either way, whenever she's in Southern Indiana, you are
She is owed a meal on me.
you are her escort for the evening. Nonetheless, so I'm like, okay, so let's, Seth, my boy, you get next to here. I'm going to stand behind the man here, by the way. And of course, I purposely wore my Texas Chainsaw Massacre t-shirt. And then, of course, here's my Joe Bob, Dawn of the Dead, homage shirt there. Love this shirt. But Seth's like, yep. So like, let's go over here to, so you go over to Seth or Darcy. Like a gentleman, he asks for consent to put his arm around her. She says, well, of course. She grabs you.
Yeah, she pulls in, and it's like, thank you. This is amazing.
Yeah, she got a full arm load of the man hammer, and she was not complaining about it. So yes, hats off to Miss Darcy and Joe Bob. Like you said, the night couldn't have gone any better.
It was incredible, and I really like Joe Bob and Darcy were amazing, but I really gotta again compliment just the mutant family, the drive-in mutant family that was there, because it was all walks of life we're talking about, like all ages, all shapes, all sizes, like ethnicities, like it was you were just seeing and everybody was getting along fantastically, like we were just all having a good old time.
No drunken idiots, nothing like that. Everybody's cool.
Yeah. So, what gets me is like at the line part, right? Apparently, so like George and I had gotten to like the part of the when they were handing out numbers, we were number 11. And apparently around number 13 or 14, the numbering system had broken down. So there were then multiple numbers being handed out, right? And I started to think, I was wondering if some of these numbers might not have been like 21 or 51, like just flipped over and people were just incorrect about what numbers they had.
Yeah.
But like there were like 2 number 15s, for example. And and so, but like, so it's like they're like number 15, and everybody's like, I'm number 15, and they're like, oh well, shit. Well, it's okay, because it's like you'll go first, and then I'll go, and then number 16, because there's 2 of them, they'll just figure out who goes first. Because everybody who wanted to meet Joe Bob was going to meet Joe Bob. The man was going to stay as long as it took.
That's the absolute credit to Joe Bob and Darcy of how much they love and appreciate their fans. Like they were there for a good 2 hours before the show doing meet and greets, then did the show, which again, like we said, nearly 3 hours long. And then after a short break, went back out and did the rest of the meet and greet. So everybody who didn't get met at the beginning, you were going to go through the rest of the line. So it was just, yeah. I can't say enough good things about the experience. The show itself was hilarious. It was just
it was great. It was absolutely wonderful.
And it was one of the, I see him walking around in the background.
Yeah, he's wandering around. We haven't been up here, but gosh, like probably since the last time we did the show. I mean, oh yeah, he's like, oh, we're opening the cool room back up again.
Yay! Yeah. Oh yeah, and so I got to tell the story of why we didn't get to do the show last week as planned. So
yes, please.
Yeah, you're well aware of this story here, but because I told the guys when I got to hang out Sunday for Wrestlemania. So on Thursday, I get Thursday morning before I go into work, get my usual doctor's checkup. Just checking vitals, refilling medication prescriptions. Normal stuff.
Right.
And they're like, hey, so you're over 50 now. Because I am. It's like, do you want to get a pneumonia vaccine? I'm like, you know what? That's probably a good idea. It's like, yeah, you're also probably due for a shingles vaccine, but we don't want to give them to you together. So let's just do the pneumonia vaccine, and then we'll do the shingles later on. It's like, sounds good. I could definitely use the shingles vaccine because I had a really bad case of chickenpox as a kid. Right. So I will definitely need that shit. So anyway, take the vaccine. Needles don't bother me. I grew up with my primary physician being my grandfather, so medical stuff doesn't bother me. So they love me there because I'm easy and I don't flinch when they poke me with the needles and shit like that. I mean, just
You don't get upset, like
I'm probably a favorite patient just because I'm so easygoing. So
fair, absolutely.
but anywho, so I'm not sure where this pertained to. Oh no. Talking about the picture of Darcy's.
Yeah, the we have Beavis is in the crowd tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say if you take a really, if of course this is posted on our Facebook and everything else, if you do take a look at the picture, if you zoom in, there's a very thin layer of clothing separating Miss Darcy from Seth there. So Seth was wearing more layers than she was. Let's put it that way. And God bless her for it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, but I tell you what, and again, okay, we keep segueing back to Joe Bob Darcy. She is so tiny. When you see her in person, she is so
just tiny. Like this little stick. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, Joe Bob, he and I are the same height. He said he's 6'4". It's like,
Joe Bob's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a very tall fellow there, but but Darcy is just as petite as all get out. But yeah, love her. So okay, so it was like anyway. So back to the story here. So everything's kosher. Go to work, come home. I'm hanging out. Have a couple of drinks and dinner, and then boom, I'm off to bed around maybe like 11:30 midnight. I wake up about an hour later in a full-on flop sweat, chills, fever, like my body's all tensing up, kind of crap like that. It sucked. So it took about maybe like 45 minutes for that all to kind of temper down and calm down and kind of warm up and put on extra blankets and all kinds of crap like that. So I ended up going back to sleep. Well, somewhere around 3 a.m., I wake up puking my guts out. And I mean, everything that was in there is gone. So like, geez Louise, what the shit? And then after all the puking the guts out, I'm thinking like, oh wait, I got a vaccine for pneumonia. Maybe that's it. So I wake up Friday morning. I'm supposed to go to work and of course supposed to do the podcast. I'm like hammered shit. I'm just there's no way I'm going into work because I have like zero energy. The fever comes back a couple of times Friday night and even came back a couple of times Saturday night, despite the fact that I'm treating it with Tylenol, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I'm just hammered shit on Friday. And so I text Seth early. I'm like, yeah, we ain't doing a show today.
I knew it was bad when I get like 10:30 in the morning. I get the text from George saying it's like, we ain't doing no show, brother. And I'm like, get to feeling better, man. Just hope to see you for Mania.
So Friday, no show. Saturday, I'm feeling a little bit better. And since Tommy had already paid me some, I'm like, okay, well, I owe him some time. So I'm like, let me work Saturday and we'll see how I feel. And so I do a show on Saturday for like a couple hours and I'm still feeling a little puny. I'm like, okay, guys, I'm gonna have to cancel out on tonight for Mania, but I will see you definitely Sunday. And then Sunday I wake up, I'm peachy keen, I'm back normal 100%, let's party.
Yep.
But that 48-hour period sucked.
Man, I can't wait until I get the flu vaccine.
Pneumonia vaccine. Yeah. So and that's the thing too. But the nurse and the doctor who gave it to me, they didn't give me a heads up like, hey, this might make you sick. It's like that's the thing. And like I've had flu vaccines for years. I had the COVID vaccine ever since the pandemic, and like they said, if you get sick off the first one, you got COVID. If you don't get sick, you're cool, and then you will get sick on the second one. And I did. And that was a bad weekend, but I expected it. Where else? Had I expected to start feeling bad, I would have prepared or something. But this was like, wow.
You were just SOL on all fronts.
Yeah. So anyway, so a little FYI there. If you're going to get your pneumonia vaccine for the first time, plan accordingly. The next day will suck. Anyway, that's why we didn't do a show last week. Anyway, so I do have some comic reviews here, and then of course we will get into our Wrestlemania talk here. But a couple things I wanted to talk about some books for last week. One was a big one here. That a lot of the Absolute fans have been waiting on here. Absolute Batman number 19. So we are getting into a new storyline here where basically Joker has finally realized that this Batman kid is becoming a problem. Now, in this absolute universe, Joker is basically Bruce Wayne, except he can turn into this giant monster and he's like super duper evil. But he's got all the money, all the power, all the resources, all the everything. Oh, and he also may be immortal as well.
Maybe.
More than likely. But he's really, really old. Okay. This issue also introduces the absolute version of Scarecrow, Jonathan Crane.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. I don't think that's a mask with his mouth all sewn shut and looking but yeah, he's creepy as all hell. Yeah, he's really cool. And basically it's like he still uses fear, but there was I didn't see like any gas. It's like he was just talking to people and got them so scared to do crazy shit that they did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the last thing this particular issue introduces is that issue 20 is going to be a big one for the absolute stuff because that fully introduces the absolute Robins. Multiple. Yes, basically, Dick Grayson in the Absolute Universe is an EMT, and he's not a fan of Batman or his methods. So perhaps maybe he signs up for a program, and the program also basically picks a lot of other orphans around Gotham. So we have Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, and I can't remember Duke's last name, but basically the Signal. Yeah, so that's the 5. They're run by Slade Wilson, who we're seeing for the first time. Slade Wilson in the Absolute Universe has been through some shit because when he gets up in the morning, most people say, I got to put my face on. He literally does have to put his face on.
Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, like he's missing like his nose, and of course the eye as well. He's missing at least one arm and probably both legs, I think. So yeah, he's been this version of Slade Wilson's been through some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. So, but yeah, so this is warming up to be something interesting here. So yeah. Steve says, I can't wait for my vaccine. Yeah, look out, dude. Let me tell you. All right. Next up, another one from last week that definitely has to be noted. We have Miguel De La Torre. I don't know if he's in relation to Roberto De La Torre or not, but ladies and gentlemen, in 2026, we made Firestorm cool. This is the Fury of Firestorm #1. Now, the particular gimmick on this run of Firestorm is that it's the classic Ronnie Raymond and Professor Stein who are in the Firestorm Matrix. Firestorm appears in a small town and basically just starts kind of having his way with it, where like just turning people to dust or just whatever. I mean, he's the nuclear man. He can transmogrify anything and everything. He's easily one of the most powerful people in the entire DC universe. That kind of like is low key the most powerful person in the DC universe.
Right.
There's also another presence within the Firestorm Matrix. That's why it's doing all the bad shit. And this particular presence has put Ronnie and Professor Stein in some kind of like fantasy world where like they're distracted with something else that's not entirely real while the evil thing that's inside the Firestorm Matrix gets to play.
Okay.
So this plays off like a horror movie, but it's Firestorm.
Yeah.
And of course, you get to see some familiar faces like Firehawk shows up and some of the other, kind of adjacents for Firestorm. And of course, they're all kind of like, hey, what's up, Robbie? Wait, what's all this thing going on? Where are you doing this? And then they basically realize that Robbie and Dr. Stein are not home. And they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
What's going on? So that's where we are in issue 1.
Okay. Real quick, there was something I noticed too. So this is another little glitch with the restream or something that we're not used to. So when you were showing the Absolute Batman issue, it was inverted, and I was like, oh, okay, that's like must be like a gimmick with the story, right? And then the Firestorm was the same way. So your camera is mirrored all right now.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so everything is backwards.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Yeah, all my GI Joe stuff and Ghost Rider and all that kind of. Oh, hey, well there you go.
Yeah.
We're learning.
Just use your imagination, everybody, and like, well, yeah, flip it over in your mind. We'll fix it. Yeah, we'll fix it on the next time. Yeah.
Yeah, this was not Isa Lavatut.
Not, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm starting to speak backwards now.
Yeah.
All right. And our new selections for this week here. I've actually got a couple of Marvel ones here, but I got a couple of fun ones. First off, Infernal Hulk issue number 6 here. Now, I've been loving the Infernal Hulk because we have, again, an evil presence called the Eldest that has kicked Bruce Banner out of the Hulk body. And so now you've got evil entity inside a indestructible brute force sort of thing like that. So yeah, if you love when the Hulk just beats everything up and blows everything up, this is that on 20. So
okay.
The heroes of the Marvel Universe are finally starting to take note, going, this is bad. We need to do something about this. So good old Tony Stark comes in with the Hellbuster armor. Not Hulkbuster, Hellbuster.
Hellbuster. Okay.
Big old fight in this one, folks. It does not disappoint.
Interesting.
Yeah. Some people like the supernatural Hulk stuff. Some people don't. They want their traditional Hulk. I love the supernatural Hulk shit, and so this is fun. So yeah. Our other Marvel selection. Technically, this is another crossover again, but this is now the Marvel side of the Spider-Man Superman crossover. And yes, I did get you one of these.
Yeah, you did. I do remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Yes. So this is your main A cover here. Pepe Larraz is the artist on this one here. Once again, with the DC version of Superman, Spider-Man, there are like 40 bazillion covers for this to choose from some of your favorite artists out there, and there's some really, really good ones here. But it's basically much like our other crossovers we had last year with Batman and Deadpool. This is a different book than what DC released last month. So don't get confused. Even though it's still a team up, it's still the same main dudes teaming up. This is a different book. Brad Meltzer, for the first time writing for Marvel, does the main story on here with Pepe Larraz the mayor. Yep.
Wow.
That was my main focus for buying this. I'm like, I love Brad Meltzer's run on Justice League in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And of course, he's responsible for the Cavalier and Clay stuff. So
Identity Crisis is what brought me back into comics.
Identity Crisis, yes, absolutely. So yeah, love his work. So first time ever working for Marvel, and he does the Superman, Spider-Man. This is not as nostalgic and touchy-feely as the Mark Waid story, but it's equally as good. It's a little more current, a little more present, shall we say. Yeah. But still, a really good storyline in here. And of I think there's like 6 supporting stories in here. I would say a good 4 of the 6 are really solid.
I really like those. Those are a lot of fun.
There's one that is basically, it's called Symbiotes in Metropolis that Jason Aaron writes. And even though it's Superman and Spider-Man, it's mostly spearheaded by Jane Foster, Thor, and Wonder Woman.
Okay.
And it's a bit of a different take on the King in Black storyline. Like, what if we replaced Null with Darkseid?
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those, like, it's also like the mini stories are meant to be just kind of fun. They're meant to be short because they're just little supplementers. But there's a couple of the stories that, like, why is it ending so soon? I could do more of this. That's one of them.
Right. Wow.
There are a couple in there. But so just again, I can't say. I'm really curious if they're going to do another big crossover for next year. Like we had Batman, Deadpool last year. We had Superman and Spider-Man this year. Are we going to get one more of those? Because these are really fun.
Yeah.
And one of the cues that a lot of the writers take on both the Marvel and the DC side, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but the majority of them take the cue that the Marvel and the DC superheroes exist in the same universe. They are aware of each other. Especially if they've been around for a long time, they know some of their exploits and stuff like that. They know the names. Spider-Man's over in New York, but we know Batman's in Gotham and Superman's over in Metropolis and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's like they're aware of each other, and sometimes they're even friends.
I like that. I like that aspect that they're going with it, because it's just, there's no reason not to. It's comic books.
Yeah. I mean, they exist for different publishers and different companies, but for overall, it's like these beings exist in the same universe.
Yeah,
like, that's cool.
And one thing that I found out that this whole like Marvel DC new I hesitate to say partnership, because it's not really a collaboration.
Collaboration,
is that we're getting reprints of the JLA Avengers stuff. And I already told George, it's like, I need a set of them, because I just need a fucking copy of that story again. And it's like I knew they would. I knew they were going to reprint it at some point, right? It's just money on the table. They just got to wait to get to a point whenever they can. But just to have that back makes all of these other books worth it. And they are so, like, the books themselves are fantastic. Like, this could almost even be its own line as the collaboration line.
Yeah, because it's a really good story. Yeah. One thing that's actually made me really excited that my buddy Bronze over on Whatnot told me about, and coming out in October. I have to wait till October for it, but Marvel's doing an omnibus of the Vampire Tales magazines.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Like, is it gonna be is it gonna be an omnibus? Because usually the omnibus books are like a little bit larger than your traditional trade paperbacks and comic books,
right?
But since it's a magazine, it's like, is it gonna be actually a little bit bigger? Because it's all magazine stuff. It's like,
Well, if we're going by like the magazine reprints, that, like, we know what Marvel did with stuff like the Savage Sword reprints, right? So like they were still standard omnibus size, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So they wouldn't necessarily be bigger, but I mean, they're still bigger, but they would still be more representative of the original page, as opposed to like your omnibuses now, which are still bigger, blown up versions of
the comics.
That's cool though.
Yeah. It's like the Marvel Bronze Age horror kid in me is very happy about that. So, all right. Our lone DC pick for this week here is Absolute Wonder Woman number 19. This is still within the storyline here of introducing Zatanna and her father as well. Zorana is in here. We also meet Giganta. We meet a version of Cheetah, but perhaps we're going to get another version of Cheetah later on. But again, I'm just really I never would have thought to be a regular Wonder Woman reader until Absolute Wonder Woman comes along here. But this has just been such a consistently fun book. I like that she's it's still the same, like, hopeful, everybody loves her kind of Diana, but she's got just a little more weight to her. I think she uses a lot more magic, so there's a lot more like components to stuff when she's doing, and of course, giant sword, killing a lot of big monster things. It's just this is just such a super duper fun run. So I mean, honestly, the Absolute stuff across the board has been really good, and of course, we got this summer 2 miniseries coming up with Absolute Catwoman, which that one, to be honest, I'm kind of like, well, we'll see how that one is. I'm not 100% behind that one. But the one I am behind is Absolute Green Arrow.
Dude, that looks cool as shit. Yeah.
I mean, the whole pitch for that one is like, we need a little less Errol Flynn and a lot more Michael Myers.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is supposed to be...
That's an advertisement right there. I saw the picture that they did with that, and that reminded me of that, like, that mid to late 80s Baxter book era, when they would do those full page splash ads for books. And like, I loved them because they would give them like cool movie poster looks and like taglines and all that stuff. Moxley wants to show off his filthy lamb chop.
Oh, look at that job.
Yeah, he loves this fucking thing.
He does. Yeah, he loves giving it to all his friends when we're over there, and we have to toss it around. And he has to go pick it up and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So, but yeah, I see. Just the overall, like, yeah. So the absolute stuff. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Also, Black Canary looks a little different. So there's rumor that they changed her character, that she may be trans, which of course, for as far as I'm concerned, who cares? You know, a good character is a good character. I don't care what you are. But that's, you know, obviously going to probably stir up the idiots, and they're going to be like, but basically, plainly put, the pictures we've seen of Dinah in some of the promotional stuff for Green Arrow, she's swole, like Camille kind of big.
Okay.
Yeah, like she ain't no like petite Black Canary. Like I'm fucking Black Canary. so yeah, I was like, so if she's supposed to be the one investigating, you know, these murders, and who is this mysterious Green Arrow character killing these billionaires? So like, yeah, it's like if there's ever a knockdown drag out fight, Arrow might get his ass kicked.
Yeah. See, that was one thing that I always dug with Katie Lotz doing the White Canary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was ripped, right?
Yeah.
But like, if they were just taking that idea and like giving like her, like, I mean, I know obviously like she's built how she's built, but just like the idea, like that gave, like that kind of led the credence to a more like muscular canary kind of character. And she was killer. She was my favorite parts of a lot of stuff after a while. Legends and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, she was definitely good. I miss that CW stuff. That was so fun.
That was so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time. A couple indie books to talk about here. Exquisite Corpses, number 12. This is the second to last issue here, because this goes 13 issues. But goes, you know, the last half of the third act, shit's going full tilt boogie. We get a couple of surprises, because basically, as we had kind of suspected, a new player was going to enter the ring. There were 12 killers to start with. Maybe we're going to have 13, and we do. So yeah, a wrench has been thrown in the works, so to speak. But yeah, so fun. And of course, we have learned that there will be a volume 2 later on. So of course, this was a huge hit for Image. It got optioned for a movie. So it's like, yeah, let's keep this thing going. There are one shots focused on more backstories of some of the killers involved in here. So yeah, even though we're at the second to last issue for Exquisite Corpses, there is more to come. So do not despair, fans.
Yeah, that's really impressive, because all that stuff is coming out, and it's a book not written by Brian K. Vaughan, so you know that the stuff will actually come out, even though that it was optioned for all this cool shit. I'm sorry, that Saga bullshit still sticks in my craw. Like, I was a collector of Saga, right? Like I wasn't an issue 1 collector, right? But it's like, I got in on like issue 13, 14, something like that.
Yeah, kind of early on.
And, yeah, kind of early on, riding that out. And like okay, that series has been running, like we're not even 100 issues in, and that series has been going on for over 15 years now.
Right. But don't forget there was like the nearly 10-year break he took.
Yeah, which is ridiculous as hell. Like, it's like, how dare you expect me to stick with a comic book this friggin' long? Like, I don't care how good it is. Like, show me a little priority that you care about keeping me as a reader, right? Like, and it would be even one thing. Like, sorry, I'm going to go on a mini little rant here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so everybody wants to give George R.R. Martin shit for not finishing Game of Thrones, right? And you know what? I'm giving the dude a pass on that, because as somebody, like, as somebody who writes, like as a writer myself, like, sometimes you just like the most terrifying thing in the world is to come up with what you think is this great thing, right? However many pages of it, and then just have absolutely no fucking desire to finish it after a certain point, right?
Yeah,
and
it's
like
done with it.
Yeah, you're just done with it. And it's like, especially how, like, I could say, like, from a creative standpoint, like, he's already told people how he initially wanted it to end. The HBO show was made that way, and like people hated it, right? I know some people loved it, and I'm not commenting on the quality of it, but as a creative standpoint, like, that shit gets to you, right? So it's like, why? Like, yeah, he's got fans that want him to finish it, and I'm sure he would love to finish it, right? But Sometimes you just don't go out. Brian K. Vaughan, on the other fucking hand, with this Saga bullshit, and I'm laying a lot of the blame on here. I know Fiona Staples is apparently not innocent because it takes her a minute to draw, which is fine, right?
Yeah.
Take your time to do that. But like Vaughn kept promising these timelines. Saga, we're taking a 6-month hiatus here, and then we're going to be back for the next year for 12 solid issues. We were taking then that turned into we're taking a couple of years off, but we're banking issues so that when it comes out, we're not going to have any more breaks. Well, that was 4 breaks ago, and it was like at this point, like I don't give a shit about that comic anymore. Like they've pretty much they've soured me on it, and it was an amazing story with beautiful art going on, but and it's not like Brian K. Vaughan he's busy now, right? Like this comic was not his stopped being his initial focus, and that is insulting to me as a reader, because if you're just gonna not do it, just don't do it, right? But don't keep trying to tease that it's like, oh, we're coming back to it, this is important, excuse me, while I go write 4 other TV shows, and a bunch of movies, because it's like these are what's keeping the lights on. I even get that, right? But it's finish what you start if you're going to keep claiming that you're going to finish it.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Well, people that are fans of James Tynion have similar problems, because James Tynion writes 47 books. He's switched Something Is Killing Children from being a monthly book to a maybe kind of quarterly, sort of thing like that. But then again, he's also got a whole bunch of weeds tied up now in film and TV projects, because World Tree is going to be adapted into an animated series. Trying to think, there's one of his other old indies getting adapted to a series. Something Is Killing the Children is going to be a movie produced by Blumhouse. Netflix dicked around for too long, and so Blumhouse got the rights, and they're like, yes, this is a viable property, so we're going to do a movie, and then we're also going to do a companion TV show, and Tynion's showrunner for now the TV show. So for the guy who's basically doing 47 books, one of his regular monthly books that kind of brought his name to the dance, which is Something That's Killing the Children, suffers now because it comes out whenever he can. Yeah. So, and the funny thing is, issue 46 of that book just came out a couple of weeks ago, or a week or two ago. The plan for the series is that he wants to go 200 issues. At this point, you got a long way to go. Yeah. You're going to be writing this book to your 70.
Right. And sorry, I'm going to keep on going with this for just a minute. So we were talking about Brad Meltzer, right? Yeah. Brad Meltzer is a dude who comes in and out of comics. He'll write an arc, he'll dip, that's fine. He's got other shit he's doing. But it's but that's a dude to me that wants to write in comics, right? But it's you've got these dudes like Tynion and Vaughn, okay, do you want to do film or TV, or do you want to do comics? Because that's and I'm not even saying you can't do both, but it's
you can't do them at the same time.
Yeah, you can't do them at the same time. Finish what you start. Do something like that, because I'm looking at dudes like Eric Larson, right? Savage Dragon is not a monthly book by any stretch of the imagination, but the dude is constantly working on it. It's his comic book. It's what he wants to do, right? He doesn't want to make it a movie. He doesn't want to make it anything else. You got so many other comic creators that that wanted to do these friggin' epic. Kieran, what's the dude that writes Die?
Kieran Gillian.
Gillian. Yeah. That dude wrote he's writing 28 books himself, right?
Yeah.
But he fucking finishes his shit.
Yep.
Once in Future, Die Volume 1. It's working on a second volume now. The Wicked and Divine. What was the other one that he did? There was another one he did that was, but no,
he had a great Darth Vader run when Marvel first got the Star Wars back.
Yeah,
his Darth Vader run was amazing.
Yeah, dude writes a lot of books, but dude finishes a story. And I'm not
only did he write a book, he also created an RPG for Die as well.
Yeah. Oh man, it's Trust me, there's part of me that would love if we could get our group together to play the Die RPG, but it's like
Dude, that would be it's way too existential and inside
oh yeah,
baseball. Like you and myself, and maybe even Brendan would be fine. Steve and Eric would be like, "What is going on?"
yeah, no, just the idea of like when you even try and like synopsize it to where it's like, okay, so you're playing a character playing a character. And so it's like it becomes existential trauma the game. So like, yeah, you have to create a character that's had a bunch of bad shit happen to him, and then have that character make a character that they're going to play in a fake game. That oh man.
And also, it's a world that is alive and sentient and learning, but it's also still very much like a child, so it doesn't know what to do with all of its power, and it's a hodgepodge of everything.
It's very it's very flipped tropey too, in a very obvious wink wink nudge nudge way. But like but like the one thing that got me like very early on in the issues is like when they were talking shit when what's her name, the leader of the group, the sister, anyway. So like it's a dude playing a female character in the game, which comes back later as a plot point. But when they were trapped in the game beforehand, like she meets this knight who falls in love with her, and so like her power is like this, like she can just command people to do things, and they can't do anything different until she breaks the curse or whatever. So she tells this dude, it's like, oh, you can never you'll never be free, or you'll never die until you get to lay eyes on me again. Yeah, Inception RPG. Yeah, but yeah, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but she tells the dude like he can never die, or he won't die until he lays eyes on her again, right?
Yeah.
Well, the problem is his eyes are like, kind of burn out and rot out. So like he's just kind of stuck in this half dead limbo state, and he's pissed about it.
Die is a wild book. And and the sequel is no different. So, but
dude, yeah, I mean, that's one that like I've got to be prepared. Like I could sit down and read my Conans, and it's like, and they've got like Jim Zub's Conan run right now is like it is on fire, man. It's up there with Roy Thomas to me, like as far as like original like Conan stuff. Like there's Roy Thomas and Jim Zub now.
Oh, but speaking of Roy Thomas, the last issue of Savage Sword of Conan, what'd you think of that one? The new Roy Thomas story,
dude. Yes. Dude, he still got it. I'm like you though. I think he had it sitting in a trunk somewhere, and he was just like, he's like, I think he writes Conan stories to this day for fun.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah,
but that Roberto De La Torre's art is like just perfect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's amazing. I love that the new Conan figure is based off of him too, and and speaking of, whoa.
Oh shit. Back of my chair is falling over here. Oh. Anyway, so I'll lean back too far, I guess. Anywho, so speaking of Conan, if you guys have noticed on our Facebook and the YouTube pages, I've been posting Seth's videos of Conan reviews. And basically, this is Conan the Barbarian reviewing films from Conan's perspective. It is comedy gold, folks. If you've not checked this out, please do. And when it comes to Rudy videos, watch the first Rudy video, then watch the Rudy Redux. Because, Conan had some complaints from viewers over the first Rudy video because he kind of went off on a tangent about something else that wasn't involved actually reviewing the movie. So he had to go
People were genuinely upset that Conan did not speak about the movie Rudy, which I was surprised that people were coming for the movie review content. So I will have to remember that moving forward. But yeah.
But again, if you're a Conan fan, this is Conan Skew on movies. It's just it's so good, guys. Check those out. Please do yourself a favor. They're lovely, and of course you get a nice little jazzy sound.
That was actually just like one of the royalty free like Instagram things, but it sounds like it's the perfect little like track for it.
It's kind of very Naked Gun-ish. I think.
Yeah.
So that was so good. All right, so going into our big topic du jour here this week, talking about WrestleMania 42. Of course, night one was a bit of a fever dream for me, keeping up on social media and YouTube clips while you guys were hanging out together having fun, and I'm doing whatever the fuck else. But yes, so got our card up here for night one. Of course, our big main event was Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. We also had the Women's World Championship, Stephanie Vaquera and Liv Morgan. We had an Intercontinental Championship match with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. The four-way with women's tag team match, the six-man tag match, the unsanctioned match with Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, and of course, Gunther and Seth. So, starting off on this one here, night one, your thoughts overall on night one?
Okay, so overall on night one, of course, hanging with the fellas and everything, like, I disagreed with the internet very much so. Like, I actually thought it was a very solid show.
Okay.
I enjoyed it for what it was. Like the 6-man, I didn't really give that much of a shit about, and it wasn't that great of a match anyway.
No, it wasn't. It was short is what it seemed like.
Yeah, it was short, and the women's fatal 4-way was I mean, for what it is, it was fine. I'm not a big Bellas fan in the first place. So I do love Liv Morgan coming out and giving Bray Wyatt love, or not Liv, Alexa coming out and giving Bray Wyatt love. You know, like she and if y'all haven't heard too, WWE released a lot of people today, so the Wyatt 6 is pretty much gone.
The post WrestleMania cuts are in effect. So every member of the Wyatt 6 was cut from the roster. Alba Fire was cut. Zoe Stark was cut. And Zoe Stark just got cleared to compete coming back from her ACL injury. So that was nice of them to basically employ her while she was injured, and now she's ready to work. Like, we don't need you.
Right? Yeah.
Let's see. Andre Chase was released from NXT. Another name from NXT I don't recognize. One of the newer kids. He was released as well. So that's our first round at least. I got a feeling there will probably be more because there usually is around the time of year. So
yeah. But yeah, no. Night one. Sorry to continue. Back on track. Rollins and Gunther. I was really like we enjoyed that one all quite a bit.
Yeah, that was definitely, in my opinion, that was probably match of the night.
I'm up there. I did like the Cody Randy match though. I did like that one.
I would have basically, if you would have had no celebrity bullshit in there, I think I would have liked that better. There were some really good spots in there. It got pretty bloody and brutal, but just every now and then you got to insert Pat McAfee or Jelly Roll. And then you think Pat's done, and then he comes back again. You're like, oh my god, So it's I mean, it would have been.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, see, I think it would have been a much better match had there not been so much celebrity bullshit in there. I say the story between Cody and Randy, their history together. That's all you needed. It's like. Basically with Roman and Punk, we've known each other for years. I hate you. You hate me. Let's fight. And that was the freaking story, and it worked.
Yeah. Now, the McAfee didn't bother me being involved in the match. Like, I'm kind of like, I like McAfee's presence in the WWE. I feel like I'm one of the few that actually do, because it's like I enjoy. I feel like he respects the business. I feel like he brings something to the table that's unique, like with his energy, and like even like I keep thinking about like stuff like when Jordan Grace came in with the Royal Rumble, right? He had no idea who she was, but he was a fucking professional and put her over like $1 million, right? Sure. Like and you can tell he's a dude who gives everything whenever he's in. Like, he's not a Travis Scott when it comes into it. So
right.
So that's Jelly Roll. I'm pretty lukewarm on in the first place. Like, Jelly Roll just does nothing to move the needle for me in one way or another. But that celebrity stuff did kind of, with the exception of McAfee coming back in at the at the end, that most of that was just done all before the match even really started too. So to me, it didn't interfere. It wasn't that big of a deal. The way that went down. Now I do got to respect McAfee's commitment to the gimmick, because post WrestleMania he's shown up on his show and in several other places wearing a neck brace, Like, so he's committing to the gimmick, and I got to give him credit for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Steve's saying when it comes to the roster cuts, there's talk of bigger names coming, of people getting cut.
That does not surprise me one freaking bit. Yeah.
I would wholeheartedly agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could make some guesses if I wanted to, but anyway, I won't. But yeah, when it comes to Pat McAfee, I do normally like him. I like his energy. I do enjoy. I enjoy his respect of the business. I just think he was inserted in this match, and it was a complete letdown. Like Randy's talking on the phone to somebody, he's getting some advice from somebody, yada yada, and then it turns out it's Pat McAfee. Like,
yeah,
that was a letdown.
I'm almost even willing to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt on that one, is that they were trying to get in front of something because there was a lot of speculation that it might have been Vince, right? So I think they were trying to get around a lot of like Vince chants that were going on with like revealing McAfee being involved with it as early as it was. Because that's totally my speculation. I got nothing to really base that on other than what
And honestly, what this was basically a make good between ESPN and WWE. Like, hey, throw McAfee into WrestleMania, and they did. And so, hey, okay, well, we're going to air the first hour of both nights of WrestleMania on our stations. So of course, apparently the ratings were humongous for apparently the night 2 that was broadcast on ESPN2 was their highest rated show for the year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so broadcasting WrestleMania, the first hour of WrestleMania for free on ESPN or ESPN2, yeah, that worked out really well for him. So apparently that was the reason McAfee was in there, is because he's an ESPN guy. So
okay.
a little synergy in there. We talked about the Seth and Gunther match, I think, being the match of the night. Has been a good, classic, solid match. I really enjoyed good wrestling match, not a bunch of bullshit, interference, or furniture being involved, or things like that. Even though there was a lot of interference, I liked Stephanie Vaquera and Liv Morgan. I thought that was a good match too.
That was a good match. Yeah. It was weird how they had the women's matches just all hunkered together in the middle, though.
They sure did.
They were just back to back to back. It felt like.
Yeah, they're filling some kind of demographic or something, and of course, one note in the women's tag match, the 4-way, Paige comes back to replace, was it Nikki Bella or something like that, who got hurt or something, and so she couldn't wrestle. So Paige comes in and wrestles with Brie Bella or Nikki, one of the Bellas. She wrestles with one of the Bellas, and it's her first time back in since literally her NXT days. And she wins. They win the tag team championship. So there you go. Paige is back at WWE, and they gave her a belt already.
And the crowd goes mild.
And the crowd goes. I mean, they were happy to see her, and then but after the finish, it was like, oh, okay, well there you go. So
yeah,
it's whatever. So yeah, and Steve also agrees that McAfee was an ESPN crossover. Yeah, 100%. So all right, so moving on to the far superior night 2. Now, of course, night 2, also I get to hang with the boys live. We had some good food, and I was not sick as a dog. So that was already a good WrestleMania night.
Yeah,
for me. But we had some this night.
This card, I was hard pressed to figure out which was going to be a stronger card or stronger night, but night 2 definitely took the cake over night 1, but I still enjoyed night 1.
Yeah.
Right. Like night 2 though was definitely where you had the bangers. Like and of course they put the Lesnar Obafemi match on ESPN. That match actually surprised the shit out of me, to be honest. Brock sold great.
Yes, he did.
And Oba looked like $1 million. And I'm just gonna throw it right at the tag match, or the 6-man, the Intercontinental match. That was what it was. It was fine.
It was fun. It was fun spot fest, but it's exactly what it was. Yeah.
But no, the Lesnar match though, that was actually the more important match because of those two. Just, it was probably one of the best Lesnar matches I've ever seen.
Yeah.
For one.
Absolutely.
And Oba was great, but then at the end of it, Lesnar taking his boots off, man, and crying in the ring. So
Piss boy is gone, baby.
So bye, Brock. Later. I hear rumblings that it's like, oh, he might come back for SummerSlam to wrestle Gunther or some shit. And
Nope.
it's no, I think he's done because he
Nope.
But,
when
later, Brock. See ya.
Yeah, when you're taking clothes off in the ring and you are not a WWE female performer in the 2000s, then you are retiring. Get the F out of my ring. There's a new sheriff in town, and his name is Oba Femi.
Yeah, dude. And Oba is amazing. Right?
It's super over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if you watched Raw this week or not, but basically, he comes out, like he's all dressed, dressed nice, dressed up, and he comes out to the ring, and the fans are with him, and everybody's doing the strut and all that stuff. All he does is when he finally the crowd dies down, and he starts talking. He goes, "The ruler has arrived, and that's it."
Oh yeah.
It's like, yep, yes, he has. So
nice.
yeah, the man who put down Brock Lesnar has now become one of my favorite wrestlers because Brock Lesnar is not one of my favorite wrestlers or human beings for that matter. So so now I'm pretty well convinced that for next year's WrestleMania, whether they actually get to pull this off, because it's going to be in Saudi Arabia, so that's going to be a conundrum in itself. But I have a feeling we'll have at least, if not all four, but have Cena, Orton, Lesnar, and Batista all going in the Hall of Fame in the same class.
That would not surprise me one bit, because that feels like how they're going. And
because Randy would be the last one to retire, and so Randy either retires, or actually he doesn't necessarily have to, because Rey Mysterio's in the Hall of Fame and he's still active.
Yeah, that is true.
So he doesn't necessarily have to retire if he doesn't want to. But I got a feeling they're setting this up now for those four dudes going in the Hall of Fame in the same class, because they arrived together in the WWE at the same time. So, Mysterio and Finn Balor was a lot of fun, I thought.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I wanted Dom to retain or Dom to win, but
thankfully the AAA Mega Championship was not on the line, so this was just a good old fashioned.
Right? Yeah, I realized this retain was coming out of my mouth, and it was like, no, that wasn't a title match, dumbass. But I know a lot of the demon gimmick is not like it's lost its luster with me. But a lot of people enjoyed it, and I'm glad Balor finally got his win with it. Because apparently he'd been getting the shit kicked out of him with it a lot.
He basically the last two appearances as the Demon he lost. So
yeah.
So he kind of needed a win for the Demon there. So yeah. I love Rhea Ripley, but the whole Rhea Ripley Jade Cargill, I gotta give a big old I don't give a shit about this one.
It's all Jade, man. Jade is just dragging that shit down.
Yep, I wanted Rhea to get her belt back. She did, and now she's moving from Raw to SmackDown. So there you go. But but Rhea, the important thing is Rhea got her belt back. But I did not care. This match was a pee break. So
pretty much, yeah. Nothing against Rhea. Jade's not good. Jade's got a great look. She's got a great promo. She cannot wrestle for shit.
I think WWE is starting to realize that the Jade Cargill experiment is over.
I hope so. I would hope so. Yeah.
So, Sami Zayn and Trick Williams end up being a better match than I expected to be.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, a good back and forth on that one. You get a new United States Championship holder with Trick Williams now, who that dude is way over right now as well. WWE. I don't know I'm not a hip hop fan when it comes to the modern day stuff. If you talk about 80s and 90s, even some 2000 shit, I'm with you. But modern day, I don't know what the hell's going on. So I don't know who I don't know who Lil Yachty is, but I love him as Trick's hype man. Love him. They are a great pairing.
Yeah.
They need to keep. I hope this keeps up post WrestleMania. Like, is this like Lil Yachty? I don't know how successful he is as a hip hop performer, but he has a future as a wrestling manager because he gets the assignment. last but not least, let's get to Punk and Reigns. Dude,
that was a really good match. I enjoyed it.
I would go so far as a WrestleMania classic. I mean, this was a great back and forth. No bullshit, no interference, no bad booking. This is just two dudes who dislike each other fighting over a belt.
And yeah, I will actually say this is probably the match of WrestleMania this year.
I would agree.
Was Punk and Reigns, and it was like you said, it was just a good ass classic wrestling match, and it was like, you know, both of them put on a hell of a show, and it was. I don't want to praise it too much because then Steve will accuse me of being a CM Punk fan again.
And let's also note that at said WrestleMania party on Sunday night, you were surrounded by myself, Steve, and Brennan, all wearing CM Punk shirts.
Yeah.
And there was no coordination whatsoever. We just like, our boy is going to defend his belt. We are here to represent our man. So,
yeah. I've said it multiple times. I can recognize that CM Punk is a good entertainer and a good wrestler. I think that he is a fucking piece of shit. Like he's Hulk Hogan level to me.
Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, it was just so good. It's like I don't think you initially realized it until basically point. I was like, you know, you're surrounded by three people in CM Punk shirts.
Yeah. But no, it was an excellent match still, and of course I do like it because Roman won. Brendan, however, was not a happy camper in any way.
No, he was legit pissed.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I kind of felt that, you know, Roman was probably going to get the belt because they don't have anything going for him right now. So why not give him a belt and, you know, do a new run or something like that? And it's interesting that, like, okay, already, like, you know, Raw, he comes out, and right before he comes out, the Usos are hanging out backstage. He kind of gives them the old nudge, and they walk out with him. But now you got Jacob Fatu comes in and like, I want a shot.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Because, yeah, the Jacob Fatu Drew McIntyre match for night one at WrestleMania, two very talented performers, like both those guys, but that feud meant nothing to me.
Yeah, it meant nothing, and I felt like they had no chemistry together, really.
No.
Like, or they had a workable chemistry, but it was just like that match was nothing that you couldn't have put on Raw or SmackDown and been done with it, and had a very solid Raw match, but it was not a pay-per-view quality match.
No, it was So that's so I'm nice to see them both move on to other things now. Oh god, yeah. So I said, definitely night two. I think was had a lot of the better matches. Definitely the match, like you said, the match of the pay-per-view was definitely Punk and Roman. I'm curious where Punk's going to go from here. I don't know if he's going to take a little time off or they're going to thrust him back into some kind of storyline or what. So, but Roman, I mean, he's right back out there and doing his thing. It looks like we got maybe Bloodline 3.0 in the making here. I don't know.
Yeah, I know that, like, even on the post show that Roman was saying that he wasn't gonna do any more of the part-time stuff. He was gonna be around a lot more frequently. So we'll see what happens there. But,
and of course, I know people give him a lot of shit for the part-time stuff, but a lot of the part-time stuff was basically due to his health as well.
Yeah, I can't blame the dude for going through what he's gone through and still been able to come back at the level he's come back at.
Yeah,
and thrived. Yeah.
So maybe his health is better now that he can have a little bit more of a full-time schedule. And if that's the case, then cool. I don't want to wish ill on the man. It's like, I may not care for him, much or whatever else, but as a character, but he's still a human being, and I don't want anything bad to happen to him. He's got kids and shit. So
exactly.
All right. So, well, I think that is all of our topics we had for this evening, sir.
Yeah. Wow. We actually went just a smidge over an hour. This is a record for us. Like, this is a short show.
It is a short show, but that's all we had for this evening. So, and of course, we're gonna go sign off and go watch Joe Bob.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's just started. So, oh man, yeah, this is a great time. Yeah, love y'all.
Yeah, and of course, I'm curious. Of course, it's movies. I know Romero's season of The Witch is on Shudder now, so I'm wondering if that's going to be one of the movies. But I'm curious what the second one will be.
Ooh,
So we shall
that's a good
see.
question.
So there you
Yeah.
go. So we know where we're going to be, folks. We're going to be on Shudder watching us some Joe Bob. So
Yep.
either way, you all have yourselves a lovely weekend, and we will see you next time right here on the Fanatic Forum. And of course, we leave you with a message from our friends from Comic Books for Kids. So TTFN.
My name is Mark Weiss, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Comic Books for Kids. 6 years ago this month, we embarked on a journey of passion and heart. Our goal was to make a difference for children in hospitals and cancer centers. Little could we have ever imagined the response we have now. Starting with just hopes and dreams, we had no money for our mission. We had no product to give to the hospitals, and we had only called a couple hospitals and asked them, if we were to provide you with comic books, would you be interested? And they said yes. So we embarked on a one-year journey to make a difference for these kids. We realized that even though we can't take away the reason these children are in hospitals, we can perhaps, while they are there, let them fly like a superhero, be princes and princesses, and embark on a mystical and magical journey to take them away from where they are in that hospital bed. Today, and thanks to your support, we are thrilled to say that we are now the largest charity in the U.S., supporting well over 200 hospitals in all 50 states for not only comic books, but for other pop culture items like Funko Pops, action figures, coloring books, Spanish bilingual items, backpacks, and more. When we received materials that were inappropriate for the young ones, we started a sister charity called Comic Book for Troops, and overnight, we became the largest charity in the U.S. for these same items to all branches of the military. We want to thank our friends for providing us their support and for allowing us the means to make so many happy with their gracious give to us.